they've got their comfort, and it also looks like they gel very well together in this game too.
Yeah. And then you got Violin, who just hasn't paid his Dota Plus subscription, so he needs to get on that. But, well, these are, again, the sorts of early movements that we do like to see, right? If you are the underdog, you want to make sure that you're trying to take a little bit of this away, although revealing that the Watcher has been taken away does give a lot of information that they're just farming up on this high ground. So I don't think you're going to be feeling overly confident to walk up into that. I mean, Tidehunter's not the worst, and neither is the Pango, but you got to say, if they're making that sort of movement, you would have to think that they're just going to be able to try and confirm a kill. That.
Who got the gold?
Melrin did.
So why does he get the gold? Did he place it first, the sentry?
Yeah.
There's 2 sentries.
Yeah, but he placed his first.
Okay, yeah, well, he placed it. No shit, he placed it on someone event. But thank you, you answered me the end. Thank you. Oh, it's alright that they both placed it. Who? Me? You... No hating. Just trying to get the full response, and we got it. We got there. It's okay.
They're even going to be able to get this other Observe Award. So Velor, nice little golden experience injection for himself. He ends up getting all of that experience for himself too. Unlike the other two that ended up splitting it. But I'm really interested to see how Class is going to be able to get out of this laning stage in a decent enough spot. Like right now, Roger doesn't have anything skilled up just yet. Just wanting to spam those iron shells onto targets as quickly as possible. But right now, I feel like his main job is just to make Velor's life miserable. Obviously know that the Slark is capable of contesting the Darkseer.
Yeah. What does his lane actually look like for Nemiga in regards to, is this more of like a farming and pulling lane? Is this a aggressive lane where even Violent's going to try and get involved in the harassing with Roger?
I think so, but it needs to be like around that level 3 timing probably, right? Just that, maybe even level 2. You know, 1 point in the pounce, 1 point in the essence shift. There's nothing really that you need to be dark pacting off. Like early on, the Earth Spike isn't going to be able to do that much. Just 1.3 second stun. Much more worthwhile to use different sort of spike timings, and they're just going to be leaning on Roger to basically soften them up a little bit to be able to confirm the kill. So I think you definitely want to be at least getting a couple of kills in this lane. If you're just sitting back and farming, that's probably going to favor the Darkseer.
Yeah. This will be a nice test for Arrays as well, with how he's able to play up into Melrin's probably, you'd say, best hero. I mean, that and the Pango is an argument for which one is better, but Hellscream might go down with another round of the dagger. Nice attempt with the branch, and that's actually enough to get him away.
It's all about just making sure you live through this very scary-ish early game. I mean, Vaja, he's not making the same mistake as what we saw last game from Malice. Level 2 Gush, not skilled up, making sure to have 1 point in the Kraken shell, just so much more capable of being there, standing on the front lines. Even just Dark Willow having 2 armor is potentially a big tool to enable the survivability there, making sure to pop straight into the Shadow Realm when she gets gone on.
Can Hellscream even make stacks for Vaja in this lane, considering, I mean, at the moment, the creepy clearance in a pretty good spot? Is that something that kind of needs to be in the back of his mind as well?
I think so. Most of the time you're waiting for, like, you know, the Ring of Health pickup, but I think even if he goes Ring of Health, it still puts Vaja in a very scary position. So maybe he's going to start out going for something like a Chainmail and just get a bunch of tangos fed through to him. Hellscream's going to sacrifice his own laning stage and his net worth to be able to start things off, basically just to be a regen bot. And then once you've got that Chainmail available for Vaja, then you can look to start making some of these stacks happen. I mean, unblocking the hard camp is a good way to be able to start things off, just to potentially get the lane starting to pull back towards you and free up some time to be able to make those sorts of plays. Look at Roger. This is a lot more what I was expecting. Just stop Darkseer from doing anything in lane. As soon as he uses the Ion Shell, enchant it.
Melrin is bodying Arrays mid lane. Holy crap. 17 and 9 compared to the 12 and 0 now. He's again just having another incredible start. So let's we'll see. Saib, they might need to potentially put some emphasis on rotating supports over to maybe take away some of the, well, at least the next water rune, or definitely power runes though.
been a while since I've seen Darkseer cast a single spell in this bottom lane. It's a waste of mana unless you're able to scout out Roger potentially looking to make a movement elsewhere. Speaking of Roger, he is starting to make a movement towards perhaps the mid lane, maybe scouting out if there's any stacks, maybe just wanting to place down an Observer Ward to be able to catch that one out. Oh, they just get the Warpine Raider and look to bring it to the lane, making it even harder for the Lion to be able to contest into this.
We'll be a little bit too late, unfortunately, from stopping the Ember from getting that bounty. So, a couple of bottle refills. Scream's going to continue to be a bit of a nuisance. I don't know if there's going to be kill threat. I mean, there is a level advantage over Corrosion now. Maybe if they were able to land the Bramble. And well, bottom lane, actually, the aggression's onto Roger. Should be able to be our first blood here. Allure along with Class. Roger's actually going to be okay, though, even with 1 point in the Nature's Attendance. That sustain is a bit too much for the boys on Dire to be able to handle at the moment. And Violence even starting to wrap on around. Just lands the pounce. Attempt of the sidestep was almost enough, but too. Still with the spike, gets some separation, but it's going to be Roger's nut shot, and Violent also gets Velour as well.
I'm glad I've converted you with the Warpine Raider. I mean, that's what prevented Roger from dying previously as well. He had, it has that 100% slow to it as well, if you're able to land it, and it was just bouncing back and forth between the Darkseer and the Lion. He was slightly off the mark with his enchant onto the Darkseer, that he was able to get the Iron Shell off for the majority of that. There is any advantageous
nice Bramble.
That, yeah, Bramble ends up landing. No level 6 yet for Ember. He's nowhere close. Still should be able to dodge out most of this and doesn't want to go back underneath the tower.
Morin just assassinates Velour, though. Meanwhile, Violent is also going to get Class as well. There's going to be a solo kill for the Slark. So that's about to be level 6 for him. He's already got 2 perma Agi.
And what level's the Darkseer?
Oh, Jesus Christ, level 3.
Yep. And this is the thing, right? The permanent Agi, but even just having the level 6 early on against the Darkseer, if you're not countered by the likes of an Oracle or an Enchantress, you can actually deal some decent damage to the Slark. At the end of the day, he's a melee hero, right? But once you're level 6, all you need to do is leave the lane, go into the darkness for a couple of seconds, get that Shadow Dance procced, and then you can just come straight back. So honestly, you don't even need to worry about Roger coming to this lane anymore. Now he can look to be a little bit more greedy if he wants to, or you could just, you know, double down, make the Darkseer's life even more miserable than it already is. Maybe it's just going to be another kill. I mean, he didn't use the TP to get back out. He made sure to walk to the lane, maybe expecting another death already coming through. Are they just going to yoink away this Wisdom Rune? Look at how deep Violet's going. Going to run into Velour.
Ooh.
Stun.
Oh, was able to get it. Violence gonna go for the... I mean, of course, why not? He's got the ultimate. Won't even need it because the Centaur's gonna tank the tower. But at least they got the Wisdom Rune simultaneously top lane. But the Phantom Assassin's been pushed out. They're gonna try and make the attempt on the Roger, but an instant turnaround for the Ravage. There's not really any damage follow-up. But at least Roger's now has been able to shrug off a lot of that initial start.
Blink Strike, yeah.
And he'll find it, but they will TP Velour in. Should be able to chase down Hellscream. He's going to have the damage just by himself, though, with a Blood Grenade. Definitely will, without a doubt. And now they even consider... Nah, Roger, I think, is unkillable. Even no points, so not available Nature's Attendance, I should say. It's not going to matter. Malrain's here, too. One, oh, bit of an awkward usage of the Swashbuckle. Might help him TP out. Malrain will be forced now to use the Rolling Thunder, so... Pongo getting active early on to be able to slow them down. They're still stuck here, though, not looking to try and escape on the PA in Lion.
He's just looking to try and run away right now on poor Lion. And the PA, I mean, this is all time. Nesphere is not spending farming. They're just going to be able to pick up another kill for themselves. Nice timing of the Earth Spike, though, to be able to potentially get away, but no TP available. No chance for him to survive because Roger yoinked the kill with the Hurling Boulder.
Well, do they know the Ember's here, though? Let's see if he can do much. I mean, max out Slight. No Orbit Corrosion yet from him. I mean, they're still going to try and make the attempt on a Roger. No way he lives, dude. Come on, someone kill him. All right. Dagger. Going to be able to bring down the Enchantress. Now Malrain as well is in a lot of danger. Could potentially TP. Not going to be able to do now. And Malrain... He's going to take a spill. So finally, I mean, they bring all the numbers they need. It takes them quite some time, and he was able to get the kills. Very important if PA was able to find some. And he did get the one onto Roger, gets the 9 in the tower as well. But, dude, it's a 4,000 net worth lead 9 minutes in.
It's a lot, but at least it allows the PA to be able to pick up that cornucopia, right? It gives a little bit more sustain, and you've lost the tower. It sucks, especially this early on, as considering there wasn't really too much of Roger's involvement in being able to take it, but he could still go back into the Mighty Mines area. I mean, 400 HP right now. He's walking around with power treads on int just to give a little bit of that extra lower HP pool so that it's going to be regenning so much faster. Like, he's just healing up to full, basically, off the back of this. Always just go to the lane, pick up the most efficient farm, which is lane creeps, of course, and then just look to rotate on back. So this is the part of the game that is quite difficult for the rest of SAIB in that they need to make space so that PA is never the main target.
This could be scary. They have the potential of Ravage into Rolling Thunder with Melrine coming over. Once again, though, the right side, a bit of a miss swashbuckle. Have to use the ultimate to be able to catch up to both supports, but nonetheless, they are still kills. Darkseid's going to try and TP in. But there's not really much Gus can do. Maybe amplifying Nezfir. But the rabbit from Raja, and it was Hellscream to turn it back around. Now with a PA committed inside the river, it's going to be up to Melrine with the last swashbuckle to get the kill. Maybe it's just the Wild Wing Ripper, but a jump over the top. Even Violence here as well. It's going to be forced to retreat on the side of SAIB, and they should be okay at the moment. Very messy stuff going on, some back and forth, but it is continuing to favor Nemiga in a lot of these early game skirmishes.
I mean, anytime that you're doing this sort of thing with a Slark, yeah, he only has 3 permanent agi, but he loves to be able to continuously pick this sort of stuff up. And I mean, it's a Slark going for a really early Diffusal Blade as well. So he wants to be part of this these fights super deep. He wants to keep diving with the rest of his team, and he wants to just overwhelm them before PA gets to this scary point. But you got to say, Nezfir has been able to be part of a couple of kills already. You know, 2-1 and 2, not the worst start for a PA. And like we were saying before, on this dire side, you're able to just always rotate back and play underneath the safety of the Mighty Mines area. Even the Spark of Courage, right, plus 18 damage, is pretty scary for this stage of the game.
Probably a big thing, though, is how do you get the supports involved in this game in regards to levels? Well, also only level 4 currently on the line. The Venge is level 5 as well. And we're 11 minutes 30 in.
Yeah, that Blink Dagger queued up by Vela is optimistic. He is going to take quite some time until he's able to get into that. A Siege Creep dying next to him is going to give him a lot of the experience, though. And this is the sort of time where, yes, it's important for Nezfir to, you know, be increasing his farm, getting into that Battle Fury as quickly as possible, but you've just got to give this solo XP over to the Lion. He's so much more effective once he's got that level 6.
Roger again. Feels like Hellscream starting to move on over. Just actually opted about turning back around, and I mean, he's done a great job of baiting them in. Melrine with a finishing blow onto the Venge. They dropped the wall, but it's not really going to provide them too much onto Melrine. Honestly, just being a bit more of a nuisance at that. And even Violent, he's going to get involved as well with this Diffusal Blade. He's going to be super active. In fact, Melrine's able to just finish him down. No Diffusal Blade just yet on Violent. Very close to it, though.
Not too often you see a Vlad's this early on a Tide Hunter. They just want to ball up and go. I think they're just treating this as like a fun pub, honestly. And, you know, that's no respect to SAIB, but that's the way that Nemiga are itemizing and playing. Turning up, most of the time, they would just stick to their lanes a whole lot more, but they want kills. They want to farm kills. They feel confident enough in their individual skill to be able to do it, and it's working out well for them so far.
Dude, this is all happening without it being nighttime. I mean, now you got Diffusal Echo and Violent, and 15 to 20 minutes, you're not going to have a map to play with. I mean, this game will end throughout that nighttime. It's how are you going to be able to play Dota? You're not going to see anything. Radiant going to be able to get wards set up. You can split push the map with the Enchantress creeps.
Love where Roger's farming as well. Just a really aggressive spot to potentially cancel out any sort of smoke attempt. Melrine's
which is a cool one now. A really good start. They'll search up the line, leading with a Hex, and that is very crafty.
They were positioned well on Nemiga, but just not well enough. Saib able to dodge that one out. Of course, Roger is going to continue putting pressure on a lot of these towers, and it's still without Velo having that level 6, but luckily for them, they didn't need it to be able to pick up that kill. Oh man, even Hellscream able to yoink away that Wisdom Rune, so things don't become any easier. This is a position 5 you're chasing with your entire team, man. Your entire team.
Oh my god, dude. Well, at least PA got the kill. That Battle Fury now completed. Honestly, not a bad timing, but you'd hate to take a look back and see the Slark's net worth compared to yours.
Mm-hmm. What's he going to go next? Probably just a BKB, to be honest.
On the Slark?
Sure, why not? That or Basher, maybe? No, he's got Axe. All right.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to run into Nezfir. Yeah, let's see if still daytime at the moment.
So creeps
You're going to see the creeps that just died, yeah. Barnes going to try and cut him off in the tree line. Maybe they just go for an easy kill onto the Venge. Get some more stacks to play with. Of course, if he continues farming nearby, Hellscream might drop a ward on the Mighty Mine. Yeah, it's going to do just that.
Good read, though, by Nezfir to be able to get the hell out. Realizes that he could see them when they couldn't see him. And he wants to make the most of that time because he is not going to have too much of that time left with how many of these towers they're losing. Velo finally hitting up onto that level 6, still only halfway towards the Blink Dagger. And who can you even look to get a kill onto here?
Oh, nice sidestep.
Yeah, missing the pounce, but I really don't feel like you're in a vulnerable spot here at all.
They're coming down as 5.
You think they can do this? I don't.
I don't think so. I mean, look at the Tidehunters positioning. The wraparound from Vajja is going to force them over to the right side. Kind of tunneling themselves in an area where the Slark has no concerns. And meanwhile, they're going to be able to isolate Class as well. Violence not even done just yet. Still sees the Venge under the tier 2 tower. And it's going to be a double kill for the Slark. 1 kill away from Godlike. 16 minutes in. Another component of the Scepter completed. They're just rolling.
Yeah, and even more deep wards drop down. So, like, how do you leave your base right now? There's one of the Mighty Mines.
Oh, oh. Oh, that's so funny. He did that because they missed the ward.
This is a reflex, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you were saying he wasn't a violent person too. He just looked like a nice, innocent guy.
Mm-hmm. Some of those people could be the most dangerous. Have you seen Trent? Serial killer.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Canadians, man. Secretly nice.
That politeness, it's all an act. They know that there's a ward here as well. So again, one of the other advantages of playing this Slark, they ended up smoking up underneath it, but I honestly don't think they care. Like, you might know that they're coming, but what could you do about it? Aghanim Scepter picked up as well. Right now, you've got Class farming underneath that Observer ward. They're just going hunting for more.
And they will get more. And maybe even an extra one.
Yep.
I was just trying to catch up. Vil should be able to cancel the TP. They won't get Nezfir, which is really the primary target for them. Is just able to TP out away. But, I mean, his work on a BKB has one component completed, but everyone else is not really being able to keep up in farm, which is going to be the big issue. So you'll have a PA with maybe some items, but no other cores nor supports will be able to combat Nemiga very shortly. And I mean, that's already the case now, I should say.
Yeah, I'm just so disappointed that Vajja doesn't have the Dead in the Water queued up just yet. I mean, you're against a PA once again. You're against an Ember Spirit who doesn't look like he's going into a BKB anytime soon. Honestly, even the Darkseer, right? You could run as fast as you want, but still just going to have that anchor holding you back.
Can they kill Violent? Start with the Hex. The chain control afterwards needs to be perfect. And
good start. And Nezfir gets it.
Definitely is. All right. 1,000 gold for Nezfir. Pretty good. Very well done. That is... That is always going to be something that can happen as the game goes on if you do not respect Saib, especially once Velo gets the blink. You know, there's always this blinking Hex before the Dark Pack and before the Slark is able to react, and you will blow him up from 4 to 0. But it's... the chances of that will continue to go up if you are able to get Ryan some farm.
Yeah. And, I mean, has he made too many stacks across the board? I haven't really seen it all. And, I mean, it's not exactly like they have too much control over their map in general, right? That's why he's forced to take a lot of these lane creeps. Just to be able to, I mean, he's even just being given over a Medallion of Courage onto Velor just in case he gets jumped, because that's kind of the state that this game's in, right? You're just constantly having Nemiga run at you. Speaking of, you've got a race up on this top side, being scouted out a little bit by Melreen. The Diffusal Blade, of course, there's plenty of that mana burn potential. Might just be looking to bait Hellscream on the lane right now.
I don't know how they get this kill unless... oh, okay, they got an Atos. The Melreen's got to try and go in with the chain control, and that is perfect use of all their ultimates in conjunction together. Very nicely done.
Just keep that ball rolling. Poor Velor, all he can do is show up on the lane for one measly second, cast the Earth Spike, maybe drag the creeps so that the tower's not taking too much damage. Nesfear, you don't have your BKB just yet. You've got enough money for it, and it's coming out to you, but... maybe feeling like without that Terrorize, without the Rolling Thunder, he was safe enough to be able to step up that far. Another smoke coming through with a DD. Understandable. Even holding on to the gem right now is Violet, making sure that he's never going to get caught in that sort of situation once again. He just wants to be able to put a stop to this Lion. He's probably the main target for them, although they do see Nesfear walking underneath this ward, so he can look to go over to the right-hand side if he really wants to. Nice try with a Tumbler's Toy there, and I mean, does he even have a TP available on Nesfear? He's going to need to get the hell out pretty quickly. Luckily for him, he will.
So, I mean, Nemiga are going to have to work out how they're going to be able to crack high ground. I mean, it doesn't matter how far behind you are. If there is this Venge swap into instant Hex, it can get a little bit messy, and you know, Slark is not your high ground siege up
on the high ground. Yeah.
So that is definitely something Nemiga need to be talking about now, and on how they're going to be able to break the high ground. You could just get kill after kill after kill, and maybe it doesn't even matter, but eventually they will just haul themselves up there.
Looks like maybe Roshan is the decision for themselves. You've already had people start TPing down towards the bottom side, and Hellscream maybe even just wants to go for a smoke with Melreen.
Oh, look at the ward. They're going to read it out now, so should be able to get rid of it before a fight breaks out. Vaja was there with the blink ready to go, along with the 2 points in the Ravage, but without many other Nemiga heroes they were going to continue to take, so they will look to smoke. Currently their path is towards Violent in the lane. Blink is up for the Lion.
They don't catch him out in time.
Nice read.
And that would have been huge. Like, there was no way for Pango to join. There was no way for the Willow to join. They would have been in a much safer spot. Any, how many tier 2 items we got so far? Gone pretty greedy on the Radiant side, but Hellscream realizing insane Gossamer Cape value this game against a PA and an Ember Spirit. Probably two of the better heroes. The only thing better I could think of would be a TA.
Doing a really good job to drag this game out. Pierre, without a doubt, has caught back up.
Yep.
So this is going to be a pretty good test of the hero. Bought out for the Ag Shard pretty early on. Have to break versus the Tide, but looks like this Roche will go uncontested. Won't be the fastest Roche, won't be the slowest Roche. Do you give the Aegis over to Melreen, or do you give it to Violent?
I'd give it to Violent. Anytime that you're looking to go up onto the high ground, it's always the hero that wants to be doing the bulk of the damage to those tier 3 towers is the one that you want to be focusing it in onto. So he will be picking it up. He's still looking to go into the BKB for himself. Of course, can disassemble the Echo Saber once again if he absolutely needs to. But, I mean, you mentioned the issues that they would have in going up onto the high ground. The way to solve that is to just win a team fight convincingly, not on high ground. So it's this really difficult time that Saib have to have with, you know, where are we... Oh, poor Velor, sorry. He got the accurate shot. He doesn't even have Mana Drain leveled. Oh, man, poor guy. He's not going to get any value out of it at all. But yeah, you just got to win a team fight outside of the base. So then, you know, these big choke point spells do start to come into a lot more effect. I mean, if you hold up inside the base, it just means that A, you're not farming, and B, all the outer towers are going to say bye-bye.
And that they currently are.
The base. I mean, that's a couple of items that they've got. Solar Crest, Kaya Sanj. So at least they've got something to be able to help themselves out a little bit.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It just wears off, so it has to be a little bit careful, even going for the Fan of Knives. So seems to be that they want to try and burst this Tidehunter, but he is not an easy target to be able to take down. Phase Boots, Dragon Scale, Plate Mail. You can get rid of the Kraken Shell, but he is still plenty tanky.
And look at Hellscream's positioning. They're going to have to go the long way around. Otherwise, they'll run into the Dark Willow with a Cliff Ward. And they're going to be able to read this. Sentry laid down too. Valor jumps, but awkward timing.
Ravage.
That's a Ravage from himself, but he's still going to die nonetheless. Meanwhile, inside the base, I mean, they've separated the Slark, but it's not going to matter. Oh, he's going to use his BKB to TP out. Those are not good signs at all. Not what you need to be able to turn the fight as Vaja finds an opportunity with the Ravage onto 2. And of course, the rest of Numiga will quickly follow up to the higher ground, smelling blood in the water. Gonna be able to munch away. Nashville? Alright. We can go next as Numiga look very clean and dominant. This should be a full set of barracks. They're probably gonna rotate, cut mid. Maybe chip down this tower as well.
Don't even need to cut mid. I mean, the creeps are already in the base from the bottom side. You can just look to stay up here and look to take the tower. Yeah, a bit of a questionable time to be able to go in there on the PA for sure. I mean, if there was any chance to be able to fight, it was with that first BKB usage, and even had a couple of targets standing next to each other as well. I believe the Enchantress was still broken from the Fan of Knives, so you potentially could have got one more pick off, get some lucky crits, and turn the team fight into your favor, but yeah, just backed off. Okay, if you ever want to know the state of this game, the Dagon on Roger.
Not the Ember. Oh, he might get away, actually. Okay, nice use of the chains.
The Dagon on Roger kind of tells you the story of this game with how Numiga feel about this one. In their eyes, it's over. 94% win probability, it's 100% when you consider, you know, these sorts of a little bit clowny, right? They're playing a little bit more aggressively than they normally would. They're going a few of these awkward itemizations, and it's all about just balling up and trying to find kills. Might even be at this point a battle of like who's going to be able to KS as many kills as they can.
Let's see who gets this kill. He's going to try and target down with the Enchantress. Nice use of the depth shot though. Violent will keep Roger alive, and up with the turn that needs to come through fast from side to get back inside the base. Still looking for an opportunity for the wall on class. They're making sure they don't group up though. But again, another BKB
that
means they don't fight. And yeah, Violent, minute left on the Aegis too.
Not wanting to use any buybacks. I mean, it's not really going to provide them too much utility here. All right, how many kill steals for Roger? I'm saying 2.
Alright. Where'd the start go? Where's the tide about to go? What is the damage? It might not matter though. Melorine, the drive-by Pango, perfect spell casting, bouncing back on both the heroes. They're going to try and utilize their buybacks on the high ground defense. They've split up some of the members though. Samar Class is going to be able to live. Violent does sniff out a raise outside the base. No more remnants for him to work with. So the Atos going to be enable Violent to go to work. Plenty of stacks now for him as well to go back inside the base and try and close this game out.
I don't think there's any try about it. You don't have your position 1, you don't have your position 2, they don't have buyback, and well, you don't have a mid lane of Rax either. Soon to be mega creeps, just 27 minutes in. A little disappointed at no Dagon usage, I'll be honest, but Roger, he was playing for the team very effectively, just making sure to hang on to the side of Vaja. I mentioned before all of the armor values that he has against the Ember Spirit looking to chase up onto you. And Roger just made sure to hold hands with him, make sure he got the full benefit out of that Nature's Attendance. SVS still a couple of seconds until the BKB. One last fight for them, you'd feel. Ember Spirit just about to come up.
Oh, not Roger. You might not kill him, guys.
Not the Dagon.
You don't even have the finger, and it just sets up for a perfect Ravage. Ooh. That is the nail in the coffin. It's a beautiful combo, man, but it doesn't matter. Look clean, look good. But in the end, it's going to be Numiga with the clean performance from them. Very dominant, no messing around from them. They're going to be able to take game 1 in 28 minutes.
Yes, indeedy, and another PA loss.